How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Serene Madness. Today we have a special video. A miracle has happened in the Cave of Madness. Yes, a miracle. Today's video will be about my first EDC. Yes, the very first EDC knife. Some people don't know it, but I'm 45. So I've been around. You know, I'm a product of the 70s and 80s. I've been carrying knives since I was about 7. Let me tell you something. My very first official EDC or carry knife, that was like a big boy knife. When I was about 13, I went camping up in Maine with my family. We used to go camping all over the place, and it was freaking awesome. Missed those days. We used to go tenting and camping and all kinds of stuff, being rustic and jaunting in the woods and da-da-da-da. One day I went to the camp store. You know, it was this rustic-y kind of trading post kind of thing. And it was sitting there. I was looking at it. And it was love at first sight. Love. And I believe the knife was $22 at the time. And I just had to have it. So I did have some allowance money saved up, which my mom held on to me because I would have just blew it all in candy or something. So my mother had my money. So I hobbled it all the way back to my campsite, because that's back in the day when I used to walk. I used to hobble. I was a hobbler. I said, Mom, I need to get this thing. She said, yeah, you're old enough to have a knife, so whatever. So she gave me my $22 and I went back. My first EDC. Oh, I loved it. I'm dragging it out, and I because you want to see the knife. Well, anyways, at 13, I bought the knife, carried it everywhere, and then it disappeared. 30 freaking years ago. Was it 30 years ago? Yeah. I was 13 when I got the knife, and I lost it at 15, so roughly 30 years ago. The knife disappeared, but it's one of those knives that it's like, oh, you just wish you had it. And I was sifting through some stuff. Boxes of shit that I haven't seen in years. Opened up something, and lo and behold, the knife that I thought was gone forever was staring me in the face. Here it is. There she is, right there. My first EDC was this. There she is. This is my legendary Buck 110. And you're thinking to yourself, you're looking at this knife right now going, hey, wait a minute. That's not a Buck 110. That's a 112 Ranger. It's not a 112 Ranger. The 112 Ranger has the finger grooves on it. So it's like almost identical to the 110. But the 112 Ranger has the finger grooves on it. They did make the 110 with the finger grooves on it. It's not common, and it's not, you don't see them around very much. They made a bunch of models. They made one called the FG, say finger groove. They made the 110V with finger grooves. And here it is. It is a 110 with the finger grooves. Got this knife in 1983. And I cleaned it up. I cleaned up the blade. I rusty ragged it. And I sharpened it a little bit. And she's just beautiful. You know, I had a conversation with my friend Tim the other day. And I told him about it. And the question was, look, isn't that fucking awesome? The question was, should you clean or not clean your knife? Clean it up. Like, I mean, the tarnish and all of that. Should you clean it up and polish it, make it look good? And the consensus is, he said no. He says he's done it in the past, and he says it doesn't give it that old cool look anymore. So, as long as I take care of the blade and all the silvery stuff, the steel, which is what I'm going to do, and keep it oiled and loved, you know, clean the wood and stuff. I'm not going to clean up the tarnish because that ruins the vintageness of it and the real beauty and the work of it. But it does have some scratches, slight scratches along the edge from being used. But the blade itself is just freaking awesome. The 110, everybody should have a 110 in their collection. It's just, you should have one. It's a legendary knife. This is the knife. The 110 is the knife that started it all, in my opinion. Everybody in the 70s and 80s, all the guys, had a 110. This is what people carried. This is really the knife, I think, that started the whole EDC carry thing, because everybody had one. You know, leather sheathed on the side, leather case with a 110 in it. It's got really good lock back. It's just beautiful. No play in it. It's really good lock up on it, and it's just classic. Awesome. And look, even has the original case. Book. Original case with it. I am so freaking stoked that this knife exists, that this knife is back in my life. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I've been keeping it next to me at my desk at all times because I don't want it to go nowhere because I lost this knife so many years ago. And I just don't want to let it out of my sight in lieu of losing it again. But this knife is going to go into a special spot. I have a bunch of retired knives, and this will go in that because I don't want to use it, because I don't want to lose it. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. So I'm so happy that that's back. It's just awesome. It's awesome knife. Want to see something cool? A new piece of bling that I just picked up recently. Some people might appreciate this. Check this out. See that? Hopefully it's focusing. It's my new Jason ring. It's awesome. I got a bunch of cool rings. I'm going to show my ring collection eventually too. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm just rusty ragging that knife and just loving it. So that's the miracle in my house, in my house that's happened. I found my old EDC knife, my old buck, and I'm a happy guy. So that's the video. Find your Serene in a Mad World. I'm out.